Greetings everyone, please give a moment to make sure everything's set on up. Looks like everything's booting on up. Activate the live stream windows. This way the live stream chat is shared. And I don't do that. There we go. I think everything's good to go. Give me a moment to check my other computer. And it looks like everything is good to go. So let's go ahead and get started. Multiplayer, browse. Let's go down to 20-minute mark and find somebody. A little bit too low. Definitely too low. Too low. Too low. Too low. Let's go upwards. Keep an eye on that one if I have trouble finding any other decent ones. One thing I need to double check. Yep, my microphone's working. Okay, try Bandit if I have trouble finding anyone else. Here we go. Let's do Lee. And I forgot to turn on my light. One moment, please. And there we go. I believe I have everything good to go. Greetings everyone, and Great here for another Advanced Wars. Age Empires, Age Mythology. Blah, I'm getting all the intros mixed up. Spawn on the north side as the blue Thor. We got a face who's a little bit indifferent. Spawn on the south side as the pink Fuxi. We got Lee. Of course, we do have the immediate Peach Blossom Spring deployed in the field. Start generating resources. And we may see a bit of the Dwarven Armory, Dwarf Boom. And I remember something as well. Did they ever fix the issue with the audio on Age of Mythology? This is the first time I'm casting this today. And when it comes to small patch note on the 9th, I think hopefully they may have addressed the audio issues that Age of Mythology's been having issues with. So I may need to adjust audio settings in game because some of the stuff is a little bit quiet like that. Or I just wanted to measure some stuff because I think the building audio is not tailored to like the same audio levels as the unit audio, which does give some imbalancing issues I don't like. But I don't think I can fix that. More copper weapons now being researched as well, getting a decent number of extra dwarves. The not utilize the Dwarven Mine just yet. He does collect up faster from Dwarven Mines, but does get more resources as each age passed. You can probably go for it once he's done consuming these gold deposits. There is a bit of a creek here, so this gold deposit is pretty safe, along with this delicious lion and zebra. We do now have the age up. We do have Forseti. His opponent's already aged up, which I'm not familiar with Zuanu. There's the Quillen, which is a Mythian that heals nearby units, good against human soldiers. Seem relatively similar to a Valkyrie at first glance. Pioneers now engaging dwarves. They do have 6.6 damage with a slow attack speed, very slow attack speed. They are classified as range, so Huskarls are technically countered, but you can't get those in age 2. Quillen's advanced wave forward does breathe some fire on the dwarves. He is aging up to Forseti, which just gives us a troll. We've got now a Herseer. Troll will be somewhat useful if finding the Quillen. Pioneers have deployed out some sky lanterns there. Healing Spring has now been established, can help heal these backline villagers. Of course, Pink has not been aggressive enough, exploiting the fact his opponent went for a late age up. Longhouse trying to be established there. Ulfzark decides to stop building the longhouse there. So a fire archer on the build cube. I don't know if he built any. I think he canceled some of them. And for fire archers, they are technically counter to the range or to regular infantry, which is also counter to throwing axemen. But 50% multiplier is actually not a massive counter. Boulder gets thrown, hitting that little child. Quillen about to going down. Herseer does connect the out Quillen there. Got good number of Herseers here. They do offer good DPS in comparison to the Pioneers. Of course, Pioneers do have range. They do cost, let's see, 105. Herseer's 120. Going for a decent number of Herseers. We do now have the Hall of Thanes, improving infantry and hero move speed. Troll's still alive. Pioneers can easily range it. Fire archers have been pulling the field. Maybe overall good idea to go for some raiding cavalry. We do now have a Great Hall being pulling the field. These are classified as ranged, I believe, so raiding cavalry should get bonus damage to them, and fire archers won't be able to get bonus damage versus the versus the raiding cavalry. Herseers are classified as infantry, so they will see bonus damage from the fire archers. A couple throwing axemen here. These guys are classified as range, so throwing axemen were not a good idea. Yep, the fire archers not taking any bonus damage from those throwing axemen. Throwing axemen were definitely a bad call. Berserks can be nice, so they help close distance, but they all have very low range armor. You definitely need to get that Great Hall built. Handful of raiding cavalry could be very useful, but fire archers are an anti-structure unit. Raiding cavalry now in the build queue. Dwarves migrating somewhere. I'm not sure what resource they're going for. First raiding cavalry now pooled in the field. Fire archers are currently not in medium. You've got the watchtower being established here. Some of these units could try going forward to get some repairs. Throwing axemen at least less useful than the Ulfzarks. Handful of fire raiding cavalry now pooled in the field. He does have, of course, copper shields, offering a bit more resistance. So the raiding cavalry gets good damage with a handful of berserks as well. Fire archers are more of a counter unit. couple raiding cavalry remain, but overall Blue is able to break the contain. More throwing axes being deployed in the field. And this is a cloak, right? Yep, does use this ability to help retreat. Very nice. Don't know how to best make use of that God Power. I see that God Power being very flexible. Providing a safe retreat is one way to make it pretty flexible. What do we have over here? Just some pigs. Looks like we've got Dwarven Breastplate being researched. Increasing Berserk's hack armor. Which he's not fighting against hack damage, just range damage at the moment. Got another Quillen being employed in the field and more fire archers. Definitely need to go for more raiding cavalry, that's for sure. Maybe as well try to get this structure repaired.
Predator.
Throwing X-Men and Ulfsar gains repairs there. A couple houses. Yeah. Even though you can leave damage on your buildings, maybe not that little health is a good idea. This Quillen will also provide some good healing to these nearby units. It's already generating some pretty good value. Probably pay for itself, barring the favor. I don't know how to convert favor to other resources, but for the food cost, it would definitely gets his value back in return by healing up all these fire archers.
Tilbuin.
These units could fall back to the healing spring, but he wants to make sure these doors are secure, though he does have walls over there now. More houses being employed in the front line.
Skipan.
Going from medium cavalry, Braggy queued on up for the battle war, but it's also probably more primarily for the flaming weapons. Braggy's overall is pretty good. Good myth unit, good god power. Let's see, what were the other ones? Yeah, hope that's meant for our berserks. Overall, Braggy is a really good god. Though I don't know his personality or what he's done, so I can't say exactly for sure if he's a good god. Raiding cavalry receiving quite a bit of fire, literally, both from the fire-breeding dragon dog horse thing and from the fire archers. Though these pioneers with the force are not carrying flame warfers. So I got some bronze upgrades as well, very nice. Oh. Now there's range indicators whenever I select something. Don't remember turning that setting on. Either way, we've got a very, very good number of these raiding cavalry. That should be a pretty good counter to these fire archers. Throwing X-Men, like I said, are not necessarily good in this situation. He needs the Hersiers hit those Quillen. Doesn't really matter what the throwing X-Men attack against. Fire archers don't have much hack armor, so the throwing X-Men at least get good base damage against them. And the Quillen doesn't have great hack armor compared to pierce armor as well, so Blue overall crushed that army.
Skipan.
Pink probably does have at least medium upgrades, but no bronze or copper upgrades like his opponent. Braggy now being deployed in the field, more Ulfzarks being queued on up, and some Hersiers. And got some exposed villagers here. Maybe they just back off a little bit and go for some of these delicious crowned cranes. And yeah, starting to migrate the villagers away. Good idea. Longhouse being established in the front line. Dwarves migrating towards the crowned cranes. Great Hall and Longhouse being employed in the front line. Let's see, what research is this? Call of Valhalla improves Berserk's hit points as well as give favor upon their death. And of course got the heavy infantry upgrade. Flame weapons have now been obtained. And looks like Pink needs a lot more gold before he ages up. He has 0 villagers and food at the moment. While trying to squeeze up his age up so he doesn't get too far behind. Does have a couple Quillen. And he sees the raiding cavalry supply as well as throwing axemen. Throwing axemen can be countered by the fire archers. Raiding cavalry, of course, can be countered up by the halberdiers. But in order to gauge both, he could try to go zone cavalry and engage the cavalry on equal footing, and then perhaps counter the throwing axemen. We got now some Huskarls being put on the field, a counter range unit. Very, very nice. Good idea to mix those in with your raiding cavalry. They do also move decently quick, if I remember correctly. 5.5, the ranks move 4.4, and the heavy berserks only move 5.3. So Huskarls do actually move faster than Ulfsarks. Of course, they are more geared to be a counter range unit. You see, they have ×2 versus range, and right now these heavy Huskarls have 9.5 compared to Hussar. The heavy berserks is 8.8, but they do have a higher attack speed, giving them DPS of 12.5. Plus, they get favor upon death. Those Huskarls also do have pretty good range armor, which should be particularly useful in this situation. While these Ulfsarks, the berserks, have really no range armor. So they can complement each other quite well, even though his upgrade's more geared towards the berserks. It's still a good idea to go for a mix of both, I think. Here comes the flaming weapons. We've got good number Cullen. Cullen's starting going down. Fire Archer is simply being very much outclassed. His age up's almost complete. Let's see. Gets a Tao Wu and God of Spring, which is cavalry focus. Tao Wu is a guy that likes to headbutt and does bring in the Force Protection God card. Cause some mobility issues. Battle Boar here, and now trying to obtain a hill fort here. It may go for the towns as well. That'd be a decent defensive position, as well as a forward deploy battering rams. Got hill fort here as well. He could eye for a forward healing spring if he so chooses to get top of these guys' health. When the piggies have been obtained, they're fully... No, they just got fully fattened. More of the berserks, and now a pair of battering rams to batter down these homes. They're pretty good home wreckers. Do now have a Dowel Swordsman. Dowel Swordsman is just a beefy frontline unit. Nothing wrong with that. They excel at nothing other than just not dying. More Huskarls being deployed in as well. We do now have the Zhang Zi, or how to pronounce his name. Huskarls right now do have the benefits of Hall of Fame, but that's it. The Berserks breaking on in, got these villagers backing off, getting hit by some more Berserks. Battle Boar balking around. This guy should probably be focused on taking on the Battle Boar. More Quillen being tossed out here, and we've got the battering ram. Another, the H2 version of this guy, Nizha, or H3, I should say. We do have some military camps firing away as well. Batteram gains good work done. He's starting to collect from Peach Blossom Springs, almost been consumed. Not sure what he was using it for, or how much it's. But all the food has expired. More Huskarls, got more dwarves, got iron weapons, dragon scale shields, blah. Let's see. Improves human soldier, hero, and ship pierce armor. I guess fire archers, that's definitely a good idea. Of another temple on the back line. Overall, blue appears to be taking a pretty commanding lead. We do now have siege crossbows and medium Chuko news. So overall, the Huskarl will still be a very good item. Huskarl right now has 71 pierce armor, while Berserks only have 34. Village does get hacked apart there. Now we got this myth unit engaging the fortress, the hill fort. Dwarves migrating down south trying to claim this gold deposit. Magetta's having trouble collecting up any source of gold at the moment. There's now advancing over here with a good number of units. Berserks, Huskarls, Herseers, and Battering Rams. This towns are likely to go down. Pink has a force of 83 units, or 83 population in the field, while blue has about 220. Double amounts of villagers, and of course an army at his opponent's doorstep. And that is the end of the replay. The Zangrade saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. That's a pretty high one. Greetings everyone, and Grade here for another Age Mythology replay. Spawn on the left side as the blue Raw, we got Dust. Spawn on the right side as the red Patron Goddess, we got Uwu Cervero. Butchered that name well enough. When it comes to relics on the map, we got Canopic Jar of Imeseti. Infantry trains 25% faster, which is pretty nice. Girdle of Hippolyta. Ranged soldiers have more hit points, which means slingers, chariot archers, and potentially priests, but probably not priests. I don't think that classifies range. I think it just classifies hero. Eye of Horus. Townsfolk get +4 population. And we got the Archimedes Ledger. Siege weapon takes less 1 population. That can be quite nice. So we got 2 relics provide increased population in a sort. Of course, the early eco phase. I'm going to fast forward a little bit. Raw can empower a monument in order to get AoE effect, and maybe do the same thing with the Pharaoh empowerment, not priest empowerment. He can empower the mining camp there with the priest. Blood of the Nile being queued on up for red. And there we go. He is now starting to power the monument to the villagers now.
In wedge.
Blue will spot some of these obelisks. Temple now established by Blue, and he's aging up to Bot, get access to the Wadjet, and more importantly, the Shifting Sands, which is actually pretty good god power. The Wadjet, I do not like the Wadgets. There's a Prosperity god power deployed up by Red, and the Patron Goddess is currently aging up to Bast to give access to Sphinx. Some basic walls being established by Blue. Very nice. This area is probably traversable. That means it's the only area that's open towards his base. Blue's going to be established a secondary town center now, with the priest eyeing to empower it. We got the cat research. Improving food collection. And Red has gone for a very significant number of obelisks, and we also got a pig in the middle of the map. Obelisks are pretty cheap. They are what? Yeah, 5 gold. That's dirt cheap. There's Sphinx there, being engaged by the priest and by the Wadjet, getting some good damage there. The Sphinx needs to fall back to a priest, get healed on up. Rebuilding the obelisk there. The obelisk did a pretty good job at holding back the Sphinx. Oh yeah, definitely should try to either heal up Sphinx. Don't push forward. At this point in time, the Spearman could probably even take out the Sphinx. And I think he sort of just threw away the Sphinx. He should have just pulled that back to a priest, get it healed up, and then you could try just pushing forward again. Sure, it would take a bit of time to heal on up, but no need to throw away a perfectly good Sphinx. We do now have another age up queued up for the Patron Goddess, give access to Scorpion Man. And the Ancestors. Blue is not queued on age up, but he is, oh yep, he's eyeing for Sobek to get the Peshuchos, so it can be upgraded to Pet Sobek. Spearman taking some damage there, and will be killed off thanks to the efforts of the villager and the pharaoh. The pharaoh does have a decent attack, 13. Both players do have 2 town centers. Now Red has 3 town centers. We got husbandry to give all of his pigs a husband. They don't have too many of them. Also improves food carrying capacity. Going for plow. Some sort of research there I wasn't paying close enough attention to.
Rig.
Yep. Now we do have Blue advance the heroic age, going for sun-dried brick, mud bricks. Got Nephthys here, so both of them will. Oh wait, yeah, Petrochowski has access to the Locust Swarm. Been a while since I last seen that one. We got the rock push way forward. I'm pretty sure that's just meant for scouting. Does have 700 health, so it'll be a bit more durable as a scout. Sears housing being queued on up there. The patron goddess, of course, have access to a common combo, Eclipse into Ancestors. Could try mixing in some other myth units to make it a little bit more effective. The wall just moving around here. Now do we have red going for Chariot Archers? I wonder who got that one relic. Blue's got a good number of relics. Hit points, infantry trained faster, and towns with a population cap. One relic remains, but that's for reduced population cost siege weapons. But red now has 2 proxy Mughal strongholds here. We're going for a decent number of Chariot Archers. Nature Archers have no upgrades onto them, none whatsoever. Petsuchos could deal with it. Orc-Man taking a bit of damage there. Blue's Rock does spot the Chariot Archers. Got a number of farms being established here. They cost 24. Ah, that's what that upgrade was. Reduce cost of farms by 50%. This makes it far, far more cheaper to transition to them. Here's as well. How much does this upgrade cost? I can't see it from there. Red is now getting fortified town centers. And Red's also trying to push on forward. Sees a good number of Chariot Archers and Camel Riders. He has his own Camel Riders. They counter each other. So overall, Camel Riders should be pretty effective versus Red. Blue's got a good number of Priests on the field. And the Petsuchos gains good damage. He's also aging up again to Osiris. Gives access to a second Pharaoh, to the Mummy, and of course, one of my favorite god powers, the Son of Osiris.
Into you.
Camel Riders do move at a movement speed of 6, Chariot Archers do move at a movement speed of 5, which is actually not too terribly fast. A lot of foot infantry can move faster than Chariot Archers. Red's now double layering his walls. Not a full fat slob, but it'll do. And it looks like Red's also aging up to Osiris, but needs more resources before he even gets started. Do we have heavy camels versus regular camels? Camels versus camels. Red has significantly more camels, but blue has higher quality camels. Oh wait, no, they're both heavy. And think of Petsuchos. Yeah, we got some great damage there.
Into you.
Has copper upgrades. Also has... Okay, that's just a heavy camel upgrade. And of course, Levy. Red do have the same upgrades for red.
Gary.
Another prosperity activated by red. And there's age up. Son of Osiris can now be brought on in. Ancestors and Eclipse there. Red is, I think, is a little bit desperate by red. Blue can just bring over a Son of Osiris and we'll clean up all these minions quite quickly. Son of Osiris has been brought on in somewhere. Wasn't paying close enough attention where, though. Red will be cleaned up there. Oh, got War Turtle and the Leviathan here. Look, got a Leviathan here as well. Blue may just need to start doing a patrol move across the coastline. There's the Son of Osiris. So we've got now the new king being queued on up. Aphid Crown is... He's actually going for mummies. If he's queued up that research, he's going to be eyeing for mummies. Giving 100% increased lifespan for minions. Minions get a plus 40% damage, and mummies get plus 40% damage and plus 20% hit points. We do have champion camel riders for blue, and there's plague for locusts. Eats the locusts do in fact eat the obelisk. Try and go for more of these villages. Very nice. Go destroy some of those farms. He has a pair of minions there. The mummy in Retold definitely got buffed from its regular counterpart, where now it can get multiple mummies, assume those guys die. We do now have the Son of Osiris firing away, destroys a bit of a wall segment there. Son of Osiris could try attacking the town center to get some AoE going. Does go for some spearmans there. Does do a bit of a charge there. A good burst there from the mummy. I don't know if the damage with time affects the guys inside, but it might. Now there's the age up for red. The Pharaoh is quite wounded. Priests are focusing healing down the Pharaoh now to get the Son of Osiris going. Blue Son of Osiris has taken some damage right now, 609 health. This Son of Osiris won't have anything special to him either. And there's Son of Osiris, 609 health. Got some various damage up there. I hear a catapult. Blue has some proxy catapults. The relic for reduced population cost of siege weapons have not been utilized. Good number of medium spearmen, or they're heavy spearmen right now. Blue Son of Osiris is taking severe damage. Blue Son of Osiris has gone down. Blue's camera is starting to go on down. There's a good number of trade archers. Maybe Slinger Axemen would be a good combination. Just going for more camera riders, going for the champion chariots now himself. New Kingdom still queued on up. And right now the villager counts are starting to even out once again. Red was far ahead, now behind, but soon to be even. And there's some rain. Good number of farms for the rain now. Incendiaros, bronze weapons. And there's New Kingdom, so now has 2 pharaohs.
And you?
Red's going for a very large number of spearmen. Multiple wall segments went down. Red Son of Osiris is still firing away. Red Son of Osiris is actually still at full health entirely. And Red's going for just a healthy number of spearmen, which is technically counter to both the camel rider and the chariot archer. Just a matter of whether or not if you can engage the chariot archers. More camel riders and chariot archers for blue, going for some catapults as well. Also got some camel trade caravans being stashed by red. Mummy here takes some damage. And now do you have the Viziers being researched by Red as well, the Aphid Crown. Spearman push way forward, does zaps into the Gazelle. Wonder if that how well makes it cook. Is it ready to be eaten? Minion does go down there. It's got some more minions still in the field. Looks like the Vizier, these mummies doing some quite good work. Yep, I think the mummy's doing some very good work there. Pharaoh went down there. Red Sun Osiris still has plenty of health. And there's just been a good number of minions deployed in the field. More of the mummy's burst there.
Garrett. Enrage.
Alright, trying to head down south. There is a good number of infrastructure here by blue. Taking out the sound center will give red quite a bit of advantage. So we'll get more population in the field. Blue's not going for fortified town center. Red has already gone for it. Town center has gone down. Red's Pharaoh's gone down. Not though Son of Osiris. Son of Osiris has plenty of health. Blue's starting to set up some trade caravans. Both have a Leviathan and a War Turtle. Wait. How do they both have both of those? The War Turtle? Wait, the War Turtle comes from the sim god that provides a phoenix, right? How do they have both? Those are from specific gods, right? Unless made it so water god, water myth units are now no longer tied to certain gods. Am I crazy? Now we got these guys engaging each other. Just a couple of priests can help them out. There's like quite a bit of population tied up in those myth units. The Leviathan is 3 population. The War Turtle is 4. Red did get a decent amount of... Oh, and looks like Blue does back the game now. This hand grades a thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Could do that one. Here we go. This should work fine. Greetings everyone, and Great here of another Age Mythology replay. As well on the north side as the blue Gaia, we have a foreign name. As well on the bottom right side as the red Hades. Squirrel! What? Oh, that's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing the boar being engaged. Got too busy about the squirrel. Do now have the Gaia force power deployed in the field. Got the goats have been obtained. They are, of course, the goat. Basic economic research being queued up immediately.
Yoshi.
Temple now pulling fueled by red. Of course, he does have Hades does have access to sentinels, which can be used just in case. Looking up all the boar first before going for. Oh, looks like Blue's also going for boar there as well. Does play some sentinels there. A little bit of overreaction doing that to one oracle. Could have held off onto it. Vault of Erebus now queued on up if when needed. Red does have, Red does have a bit of villagers and wood. Probably can hold off on this collection until it gets the age up complete. So I did spend some wood on something. Oh, it does a Vault of Erebus? Yeah, it does cost a bit of gold there. Gaia's coming aging up to Oceanus. Gives access to Caladria. Why is my cursor stuck at the berries?
Bureg.
Caladria charging by 4, try to get some scouting off. The Sentinels will shoo her away. HX can throw some spears up there. Does spot the Cyclopes, or Cyclops. And with the Pestilence, does allow Hades to lock down production, so that could allow him to get one last push into his opponent's base, preventing reinforcements. Well, Gaia, of course, has aged up and got access to Carnivore, as well as some more Gaia Forests are available. Her first 2 casts are free. Now, I do have some Hippus Cavalry being pulled up by red. The standard cavalry unit for the Greek could be countered by the Castropeltis, or however you pronounce it, a counter cavalry unit available from the counter barracks. You have a terminal opponent field, a mounted spear thrower with a really slow attack speed with good multipliers is a counter range unit. I'm personally not a big fan of it, but I understand its usage for it being a mounted range unit. Manor now being established. Cyclops there. These citizens are heroes, so they could engage the Cyclops as well. Got a single Catapultus, the counter cavalry unit. Have 6 damage times 4 multiplier and it's relatively slow attack speed. Citizens do get on out of there by going through the manor. Bit of a stop order command there. Caladria is still alive, taking some damage. Looks like this Catapultus is taking some fire there, engaging the range units, or the cavalry units. Bit of a slow there. More Hippus spawn field. Definitely get out more of those Catapultus. Oracle down south does spot the villagers gathering up berries on the hillside. Ajax is carrying a relic. It is the Fee, which is a poisonous animal. Ajax is not exactly critical of this engagement. There's only a Caladria up in the air to cause issues, which Archelius could be used to take it out. More Gaia Force being salvaged there, polished by a bit of coverage there, funnel his opponent. The mana will go down. What bad manners. You now have the Chariot Ballista being pulled in the field, which is a counter infantry unit, which, suppose seeing that one hoplite would suggest more infantry units being pulled in the field. Right now it's just more Hippus and another Cyclops. Last of these berries being cleaned on up, and I hear chickens being obtained as well. So blue is starting to run out of food. Needs to start going towards these caribou. Another cloud trip on the field, getting some good healing. Let's see, we do have no medium infantry just yet. We have medium range. Got serrated blades, giving fanatics and marmellos increased damage and bleed, or are able to inflict bleed. We got a number of medium high passes deployed in the field. Medium infantry now being queued on up. Good number of idle villagers there.
UJ?
Claudia will spot these units. Alright, so now starting to push way forward. Now got peasants being utilized. Got some other stuff back there not currently being affected, but we've got a bit of a choke point here. One Claudia does get picked on up there. Using Gaia Force to trap these units. Oh boy. Needs to make sure to focus on the Cyclopes with the heroes. Some of these Marmellos and Calpeltus are coming for a flank. Carnivore brought on in, and Red's army will go down here. Only artillery's remain. Claudia's gonna have a lot of work in front of her to kill up all these units. Archilles trying to escape on out of there. And Archilles will escape on out of there. We have some Hippists over here. Citizens standing and fighting. This citizen needs to get on out of there. He's done his part. And the rest of these Hippists do go down. Citizens are particularly tanky, and thanks to them being on top of Lush, they get a bit of health regen going.
Yuji?
Oh, so Claudia's getting some good healings here as well. Right, so now pushing forward with a decent number of Hippists, High Pastus, couple Shades, couple Cyclopes. Got some chickens here. And goats pretty well fattened, now being eaten. More Marmellos, more Catapultus. Definitely needs to lay off the Turmos. There's no range from engage. Cherry Blister is another matter. Guard towers not being researched. Some of this infrastructure sort of going down. The citizen cabal is given to the manors. Blue's trying to get overran. Good number of hero Marmellos there. Watchtower is firing away. Marmellos ripping apart the Cyclopes. Some citizens are going down. He does have 2 towns there, so he can take some villager losses, but it's not great. Marmellos engaging that Cyclops, takes them out. Some of these farms going down, and Lantian farms are a bit more expensive than regular farms. And last of the Cyclopes will go down. Citizen going down there. A very large number of citizens are going on down, that's for sure. Red's not falling back now. Cold, good number of villagers. Both sides took lots of losses. Red has more military units being streamed across the frozen lake. And going some farms there. There's still plenty of meat on the field, such as delicious polar bears. They're quite unbearable though. And Red is actually aged on up, gone for Apollos of access of Manticore and Underworld Passage.
Skopos.
Manticore is a very good myth unit. Excuse me. Manticores are a very good myth unit. I think they're very underrated. They're a durable platform. They do good damage. They have good range. They do cost 4 population, but I say they're pretty good. We do now have the weighted maces research increasing. Oh, howdy. Sorry, I just saw you. Your comment. It's a comment I make all the time about bears. The weighted mace, what was it again? Increases the catapultus, or have announced that, speed and attack damage. So they just make it a bit more effective versus everything. I wonder, let's see, the move speed gets improved up to 5, Marmellos move at 4.5. So they do move faster than Marmellos, which is quite nice. Got a Pegasus here, scouting a route, not bad. And got the Underworld Passage. Being scouted right there. Red is being aggressive, does get on the far side of the manors. More citizens going down. Blue does have a better civilian population right now. Needs more. Oh, got another carnivore on the back line. Cheruballista doesn't have too many targets. They need to start targeting towards those her high passes rather than against these units. Marmello's been stopping some of the hippies from reaching the Cheruballista, but it's not looking too great for blue. Manticore does go down. Age up complete. Got a Symphilian bird. And does pull out the Herbestes tree somewhere. Red's going for a fortress here. Probably go from siege weapons in the front line. Townsend are now under siege. Dryads being established. Blues take some losses. Citizens looks like trying to go to this watchtower was not great. That citizen does get picked up by the Cyclops and thrown. Number of farms back here. Now her fastest tree deployed out there for a couple more Dryads. Got a decent number of Dryads now on the field. Achilles hitting out Cheruballista, which can healed up by Caladria at the moment, I think. He healed by something. There's a Caladria. Red's starting to fall back. The Dryads are coming out in pretty decent force. Of course, got a force here, but probably Bowling Oil's not researched just yet, so we can't deal with it. Going for some heavy cavalry, the medium Contineras. Petropolis does go down, Dryad still engaging. Of course, still got the Underworld Passage here, causing issues. Red's reinforcements can just be brought on the front line, but looks like overall Red's having trouble massing up forces. Cyclops getting hit there. Symphilian Bird does have time to multiplier versus mid units, so it's trying to focus on the Cyclops. Achilles here, taking out the Symphony Bird and perhaps a Quadra while at it, but getting tied up by the various other units. Mana starting going down there. Blue still has more villagers on the field, or at least citizen population.
Skopos.
Now the Lance of Stone getting Contineris increased damage by 50% and gives an opponent a bit of slow. Partial petrification. Damage there onto the market. Does not push way forward. Got good Argus Archer core. Doesn't give us Symphony Bird. Cyclops throws the unit. Counter does get interrupted. Symphony Bird being hit by the fortress and by Ajax. Symphony Bird does get shot down. Cyclops picks another guy and does chuck him. Cyclops getting riddled with arrows. A couple more high passes here. Says to try and go back to these farms. There may not be a possibility of this nearby fortress. Maybe guy could eye for a palace right here. Yes, I clicked on right when I was mentioning it. Though the Petrobolus is still alive, 6 health. And may need to cancel it. Didn't cancel it. That Petrobolus can cause some issues. We don't have any more Petrobolus in the build queue for red. We're also going to see some Peltas and another Chiron, or a Chiron. Don't think we've seen Chiron yet this game. Couple villagers there. Looks like blue does spot it with the Oracle. So got a bit of a counterattack here. This will help get blue back in the game. Polar Bear being obtained. Gold here, which they should have a vision of each other. Villagers quickly along down. This will give blue a little bit of an edge here. Red's now counterattacking up here, but blue is ready. Though move order, not an attack move forward. Allow red to get a lot of free damage there. Contineras are now making their way to the Peltast. Another drag going down. Chiron does pick off some of these. Contineras do fall back there. Blue has not been able to stabilize here. Red has a decent gold stockpile, just queued up a whole bunch of Peltas. And going for a handful of Padromos, counter cavalry. Heavy Contineras now pulling the field by blue. Got a pretty sizable army being queued on up. Now got a pair of fortresses here. Maybe some destroyers help out for the anti-structure damage. Shay is being cleaned on up. Another citizen got thrown, takes out. She got thrown into Contineras, taking him out as well. Contineras does find some more villagers here. Red's at 62, blue's at 696. Sound like some bears were getting hit. I'm not sure. Oh, right there. Town center here, not fortified town center. Red's also advancing forward over here. I think blue's starting to disintegrate. decent queue of units, but simply does not have enough production structures for it. Red's now established a forward barracks here as well. Going for more siege weapons. Dry does get cleaned up there. Blues are trying to get anything built right now. High passes engage the Argus archers in melee. Red's now going for this town center. Finally going for a secondary town center. Peltas trip forward. You have now the palace taking some serious damage. And now got Sentinels here. With the smaller engagements, the Sentinels could do some decent work, even though I'm not a big fan of them to stop armies. Right now, Blue doesn't have much of an army. Contineris now heading down south, eyeing for a bit of a counterattack. We got a good number of Dryas blood in the field by Gaia. Trying to go fortress here, trying to obtain this gold deposit. Not much left on that gold deposit. Plenty of gold up here. Villagers getting hit once again. Blue's able to get another good attack on these villagers. Couple heavy Prodromos to counter. Dryads and Contineras push right forward. I guess at this one time he needs to pull out some Prodromos and Hoplites over here. Another Carnivore pull in the field. Another Cyclops emerged from the Underworld Passage. Ajax started going down. Achilles still doing quite well. A lot of Dryads from engage. A couple Argus archers now heroicified. Red's now going for some Toxidaes. And Red has a decent wood reserve as well. May want to cool off on the wood collection. Blue's actually trying to age up, going for Atlas. I don't know if that's a good idea. Gives X to Argus and to Implosion. That could be used to break this over here. Red can even steal some of these farms. Another fortress being established here as well. Blue does have another town center. Add 400 population, no fortified town centers. More Dryads queued on up. Not a pop cap at the moment, but getting pretty close. Red is pretty far from aging up. Going for more Cyclopes. 3 more Cyclopes queued on up. Masonry now being researched by Gaia. Not a bad idea. Here comes a cavalry counterattack. In fact, could take out the Underworld Passage from this side. Go for the Underworld Passage.
Scopus?
He has vision Underworld Passage. Running on by. Blue has a decent defense. Tries to cost 0 population, making them very, very flexible in any sort of composition. In other words, just build them. Achilles does go down there. Still a couple more Cyclopses on the field. Cyclopes. And does find the villagers here. Does not go to the underworld passage. Prodromo's trying to counter now. And the Age of Thrones complete. This lush health regen has been very useful for Blue, able to keep these villagers that have been these citizens have been constantly being raided. Pop up health. There's now the Mythic Age. There's a lot of good. Bring implosion over here. Don't know about that. That was not a very good implosion. I can see something being used over here. I can see something being more used right there, but that was not good. But more heroes now upload on the field. This relic could be grabbed and put on in. Chiron and a Shade will go down. Is there even a temple in the field? Blue may not have a temple, so rebuilding a temple should give her an Argus. Panaris push right forward. Good number of Prodromos in the field. As right now, it seems like Fanatics going to be particularly useful for Blue, able to counter the infantry and the cavalry. Won't be able to counter the Peltas, but they are already a counter unit. Plus, he has serrated blades go along for the Fanatics. And Blue's out of gold. And if Blue doesn't fix the gold issue, Gaia will lose the current rate. She could try establishing trade, maybe put a market there. Either way, nothing seems particularly great in order to fix Gaia's gold problem right now. Blue does have a good number of cavalry here. Red is obtaining this gold deposit. Blue just simply does not have a way of obtaining gold. That gold deposit is cleaned on up. Red has stolen that one. But I think at this point in time, Gaia will probably start disintegrating the lack of possible gold. She has plenty of wood she could probably sell off for food. And Blue does about the game now. As Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Before I get started next replay, I do need to use the restroom. Please give me one moment. My apologies, I'm back. And I noticed the sound bug quite a bit issue where they've improperly put in Wonder. Nope, they turned on surround sound and it made everything horrible when it comes to sound. It's actually giving me a little bit of a headache how sound just fades in and out the background music primarily. Not that one. Let's see now. Way too low. Alright, let's try going down this way. You all may not be able to hear the sound issues since I probably have the sound to mono. Here we go, we'll go with this one. This game is so laggy. I think that game just disappeared. Let's see. It has the lowest rating I've ever seen. Yeah, I don't think I've seen a rating that low yet. Here we go, we'll just do this one, Infinity. Greetings everyone, and Garrett here for another Age of Empires or Age Mythology replay. So on the left side is the blue Loki, we've got Infinity. So on the right side is the gray Loki, we've got Predator. So is he a tank from Command & Conquer 3? The Predator tank? Either way, both course gods have the spy god power. So let's see where he's going to plant a spy on. That dwarf's a spy, puts a spy on top of the Ulfsark here, which he may have a good idea since he hear the god power being activated. So now his Ulfsark is his opponent's Ulfsark. Don't know what's the best target for it. I mean, this will give him a lot of good scouting there. Was that house there next to the town center? Yeah, let's take a look at what relics we have on the map. We've got the Bow of Artemis giving range units, range soldiers, and myth units cheaper. We got the Feathers of Fenrir. Increased villager attack. That's not very good. If you make a good use of that, either something very wrong, went very wrong, or went very right. Siege will take one less population. That can be quite nice. And Zering. And walls have a bit of regeneration, which could be quite nice. Temple now uploading in field, going for Force City, get access to the Troll, and opponent's going a bit more of the creative option, the Force City to get access to the Troll. Both players have access to the Healing Spring. Gray has found a good number of goats. They, of course, the goat. Blue only found 9, Gray's found 11. Decent amount of wildlife up north as well. And Gray is going some early walls. He's going to try to dig in. First Seer. Actually... Oh wait, yeah. I don't know why I didn't recognize that both players have the Dwarf Cube. I didn't recognize that as a citizen. Yeah. Mine's getting a little bit melted. Eyes in the Forest gives able to see with Mother Nature. If you extend your vision more precisely, let's see, this is gray going forward. If we just go for normal, this should allow him to get a bit of a vision bonus from, through these wildlife. Oh, it doesn't look like it.
Tilbúin.
Cause of Mother Nature such as trees and animals temporarily grant you vision when nearby one of your units, so maybe you have to get a bit close to it. Can't exactly say I've really looked into how that one worked. Now that the giraffes being obtained, I wonder how giraffe tastes in real life.
Já.
Raiders rolling. They will intercept the goats. You can get more goats.
Skipan.
Like I said, they are the goat. And this spy has been particularly useful. Able to spot Blue's army. Let's see, if we go over to explore it, literally Gray knows where Blue's army is at. So Gray can go in and raid his opponent. He sees his raiders pushing forward, if he's paying close enough attention, of course. Let's find some more goats. Looks like there's a good number of goats on this map. 5 more goats. So you have, what, 16 goats? There's the raiders. We'll steal those 2 goats. So he's down to 14. It's 13 goats. You monster. Got copper research and dwarven breastplate. Gray has more raiders here. Of course, he knows where Blue's army's at. Throwing axemen should be pretty useful as well. Raiders get bonus damage for throwing axemen. Throwing axemen get bonus damage for throwing axemen.
Tilbúin, já.
Blue's Gray's spy is still alive, and Blue seemed like won that fight pretty handily and plays up healing spring there just can heal them up. He could have perhaps deployed it a little bit farther back, then maybe a little bit too far forward, but still able to protect the units and get some good health regen on the front line. That did not go well for Gray whatsoever. We do now have the medium cavalry being researched, as well as the raiding cavalry. Oh, we got some Erdmen now being employed in the field. Erdmen are the counter cavalry unit for the Norse. Very nice. Got a nice little choke point there. Even though throwing axemen are not going to be great in the situation, the choke point's going to be just very good. Of course, Blue's Gray's spy is still in this region. Raiding cavalry straight forward. Got a number of trolls here. The do throw some boulders and trolls opponent. I don't think this is going to go great for Gray. Blows out his own healing spring now in a good defense position. Gets trolled a little bit more. You have a backup line of walls here. These dwarves could, yep, turns out gate and could migrate up north.
Tilbúin.
Don't worry about dropping the gold. Looks like we'll go down south for the winter. And dwarves will get scratched a little bit, but the dwarves are hardy folk. Just give them some water and they'll be good to go. And Blue's not going for secondary town center. Very nice. And going for some copper shields. Copper shields, no. Cancel that. You're fighting against Norse. They do hack damage at range. You you should skip shields when fighting against Norse. Unless you're fighting against somebody who's particularly amassing units with Pierce Armor, you should generally skip Pierce Armor when fighting Norse because throwing axemen deal hack damage. No Pierce Armor required. Your opponent's not going for Trolls, so not another source of Pierce Armor. The only thing you have to worry about for Pierce damage when fighting around are these watchtowers and the town center, which that can be tolerated. Gray is going for a very large number of Herseers. Does have Hall of Thanes, but that's about it for them. I always find Herseers a bit of a trap unit, honestly. They do generate favor, don't get me wrong on that part. That's their primary good usage for them. But overall, their attack speed is very slow, so they give a... Their damage is not too great for the cost. They cost 120. I suppose, like, say, let's look at their raiding cavalry right now, which has technically more DPS, a little less health, but greater speed. And, of course, able to counter ranged units a bit more effectively. Herseers, of course, are counted the myth units, don't get me wrong. But they're not... I think people over-rely on them too much. We do now have the Barrage being employed in the field, get access to the Battle Boar. And we do now have the Cave Trolls being established, but he's not deployed too many Trolls to troll his opponent. I wonder if there's a setting to remove those tooltips. Drag. Maybe something I can look into later. Because these tooltips, you can see they sort of bug out quite a bit. You can see the top left corner. Yeah, that's why I'm thinking about trying to get rid of it. Blues Raiders need to get on out of there. And Gray's losing some forces here. And he has the spy still there, so he knows where that army's at. Gray's spy has actually been much better than I expected. But it looks like the spy is about to go on down. Yep, the spy does go down. Another cave troll there. Now thinking about it, should Loki's spy, the second use, should cost 60 favor? That seems a little bit too expensive. Maybe it should get a cost reduction there so it could be utilized more often. Maybe down to 30? That would maybe be a bit overpowered at 30, but maybe giving cost reduction down to 30 would be quite interesting. Able to, so you could be a bit more, well, more scouting, more vision. So Loki can be a bit more of a trickster. Speaking of trickster, we got a bit of walls there next to his walls. Build 4 established here. Got some Goldie on the build queue. Both players have a good number of trolls in the field. Both of them have cave trolls as well. Got 7 trolls to troll his opponent, while Gray only has the 4. And got a free Draugr. We haven't seen too many free myth units so far this game, have we? Herseer took a bit of damage there. Throwing Axeman versus Throwing Axeman. Battle Board knocks down the Throwing Axeman. Trolls throw some boulders. Got another Draugr there. Gray's getting pretty lucky with that. Granted, Herseers does increase the chance of the free myth units. So So now it's 4 cave trolls versus 6, but there's also 4 and 2 draugrs. Which they do pierce armor, so luckily got that pierce armor research, I guess. But let's do a bit of divine. Battleborg gets picked off, looks like pretty much for free by the Herseers. Very good pick there by blue. Gray is still a little bit outclassed. Boulders takes out the cave troll. Needs to get some boulders hitting that formation. Cave troll throws a pretty good boulder there, knocks back formation. Summons some battle boar. Got his age up going. Gray's going for his flame weapons. But there's not too much of an army left by Gray, so that's a pretty bad cast of flame weapons. Got some Jarls on the field, just a beefy cavalry. Now blue finally gets own free myth unit and Hare, which is a very powerful myth unit. Or at least makes other units very powerful for a short amount of time. And blue's now aging up to hell. We'll get access to the Nidhogg and all the giants. Fire Giant's definitely my favorite of the 4 giants. Those stone giants are my second favorite. Got another Goaty there to engage the trolls. Range heroes are pretty much needed to engage range myth units. One reason why I like ranged myth units better than melee myth units. Because yeah, it's easier to keep those guys alive. One reason I also love the Manticore. I think my favorite myth units are the Manticore, the Lampades, and the Automaton. But the Automaton's, of course, not a ranged one. But you can't deny the Automaton's quite fun. If you can manage to keep them alive. Do not have the heavy berserk hit points increase in favor upon death. Blue or gray does have decent number of Goaties on the field to engage the soon-to-be Nidhogg.
Yo. Skipan fyrir þar.
Baron's knocking down some of these homes. We got another boar, cave troll. Blue's at max up population. Gray is at overpopulation now because these ones are destroying some housing. The Nidhogg can be summoned. But a decent amount go in the field, so probably a good idea not to use it against these units. Gray comes with a nice flank there. Got some Ulf Jarls. Fire Giant gets a pretty nice hit there on the Jarls. Fire Giant does quickly be focused down, and Gray does back the game. Both you, the Nidhogg got some somewhere. Is Angrade saying, "Thank you for watching," and on to the next replay. Let's see if I can't do one more replay tonight. The sound bugs are just starting to really get into me. I think because since I have I am recording mono, so you guys probably don't hear all the sound issues. Actually, really bad sound issues since that previous update. Let's see. Here we go. TSM clan. Greetings everyone, and great here for another Age Mythology replay. Spawn bottom or just right side as the blue Loki, we have TSM clan. Spawn on the left side as the red Zeus, we got Asgardia. And you know what? Red's on the left side while it was on the right side. How do I change camera angles again? I'm going to try to, I can't remember how to change camera angles. I'm going to just flip the game around. Hotkeys, camera. Gameplay general. Menu interface. Where is the camera? Move camera forward, back, left, in, out, rotation. Reset. Reset camera, move rotate left, Alt A. Got it. Alt A. That's not doing it. Oh well. I was going to just flip around the camera. But oh well. We do, of course, now the Temple now Savage. Red's aging up to Athena, get access to the Minotaur. Jason now deployed in the field. And Blue's aging up to Forseti to give access to the Troll and to the Healing Spring. Jason heading up north to this relic. This relic is the Bridal of Pegasus. He has a free Pegasus, which is pretty nice. This one is a Fur of Boya. Gives heroes some health regen. That's actually pretty nice. Arrows of Hercules give range soldiers and ranged heroes plus 5% damage. And Jade Hair, increased myth unit movement speed, which is actually pretty nice as well. Troll deployed on the field. We do have the Pegasus there from the relic. Norm the Minotaur here. Pegasus does take some damage there. We do got Hall of Thanes queued on up. Pickaxe completed. Jason's bringing up back another relic to make his range units a bit more effective. Does spot a good number of Herseers. Jason has to keep on running. No one Minotaur can't do much versus the Herseers. Here comes Hercules, so he has two heroes now. Temple will take a bit of damage there. And Red has deployed a secondary town center and an idle villager going there from the archery ranges now. Triple archer range, that may be a little bit too much at this moment. Spy deployed on Hercules. That may be a really bad spot for a spy. Red now has assumed there's a spy somewhere. You don't see the fish symbol there. The fish eye symbol. So you probably just going to assume there's one of these villagers, which is simply just be incorrect. Does avoid the Herseers. Red's trying to find those villagers now. Does spot the granary and the scout. Herseers in very good numbers push way forward. Got good number of Tox days. These guys are classified as infantry, so they will see bonus damage from Tox days, but they're a bit more of a generalist archer either way. Plus 25% damage, nothing too significant, just something that's nice. Does, of course, have 2 town centers, so red is recommended to go for the long game at this point in time. Norm the Minotaur could keep his distance because of just fighting against a mass army of Herseers.
Skipa.
Herseers do right now have Hall of Thames, which gives them plus 50% movement speed. Make them pretty quick. Right now they're moving at 5.2. Norm right now only moves 4.5. Toxa's move at 4. Hercules at 4.8. And Jason at 4.3. I think that the Bold Minotaur upgrade will put the Minotaur up to like 5.3 if I'm not mistaken. Pegasus does get stoned a little bit there by the troll. Just doing a bit of trolling.
Yo.
Herseers heading up north. In these villagers. Single Toxday there. Red's army's right there. Spotted because of the spies, so he had complete vision of that army's movement. Toxday there will go down. Troll does throw a boulder against Jason, and these two heroes slice apart the troll, no problem. Greek heroes are, of course, much smaller in numbers, as we all know, but they're also very, very good at taking out myth units, particularly. After all, you can see here, Hercules has 13 damage on ×8 multiplier versus myth units. Jason has 9.9 with a ×12. It's lower attack speed.
Yo.
Compared to the Herseers, who have 8.8 and it's ×6.6 versus myth units. So I think they actually got a slight buff there. Something's increasing their myth unit damage. That's awfully an odd number there, to say the least. Red's going for more Toxates, not a bad idea, especially when we have the arrows of Hercules. Increasing damage by 5%. And of course, the more I point this out, the spy. Blue knows where Red's army is exactly. We do now have Brage being deployed on the field with give access to the battle boar, flaming weapons, and of course some research. The free Pegasus taking some damage there. Of course, if the Pegasus goes down, you just get another one for free. Very, very good relic, honestly. More longhouses being deployed in the field. Do now copper shields, good idea. He knows his one's going for mass Toxates. So he does not need to worry about hack armor at the moment. He only needs to worry about range armor. I think he should probably try squeezing out a hill fort and go from some Huskarls, but raiding cavalry is also a good idea. Trolls also not a bad idea. They're a range myth unit, so they're pretty easy to get good value from. Got some Goaty being put on the field. Doesn't need too many. A small number is all he needs, just so we can help gauge myth units a little bit easier. We do now have Dionysus being employed in the field to hail Hydra. Zeus still has access to Bolt. Maybe we could... Battle Boar is a nasty myth unit, so bolting it is a good idea. And looks like Loki spawned a free myth unit there. Got another troll. How fitting. No cave troll upgrade. Probably should have gone for cave trolls when we have this many trolls. Toxate's now engaging. Got a couple hoplites being mixed on in. Flame weapons to boot. Music went to... Okay, that's not really the stereo sound bug. That was probably just the game itself being stupid. Restoration now being utilized there. Flame weapons still have another 30 seconds. It's a god power that is very powerful and lasts for a very long time. Was like double damage. I think so. If I can reduce down to plus 50% damage. We do now have another free battle boar. Oof. First years, I believe, does have increased chance to spawn the free myth units for Loki. Probably wonders why he's going for so many Herseers. He's trying to really maximize effect, and getting a free troll and a free battle boar is quite useful. The Hydra's now have 2 heads, and that's how you get head. Raiding cavalry being picked apart. They're just regular raiding cavalry, not even medium raiding cavalry. If you would have gotten medium raiding cavalry, it would have been a little bit better. Of course, you can also get heavy. Trolls take some damage there. Trolls do not manage to throw the boulders in time. It has 14 range, but has a bit of wind-up time. Toxdays have 15 range at the moment. And boosted up by the arrows of Hercules, but not... Oh yeah, it doesn't have increased range. What was it from? Bow of Artemis? I can't remember what all the god of power or god upgrades are. Do now the cave troll being researched as well as the battle boar. Free battle boar is such a powerful item. I think they nerfed the battle boar in one of the patches where the kicking animation got sped up, so it spent less time kicking back the entire enemy formation. Sometimes speeding up an ability can nerf it. In the case of battle boar, I think it did. Just max Toxdays by Zeus. Doesn't have heavy range units being researched just yet. Probably should. And like I said before, and Ready Cavalry good. He can also pull the eye for Huskarls as well.
Tilbúin. Já.
These Herseers are going to get ripped apart. Oh, looks like there's a different Hercules as well. So he did lose his spy. And that spy has been very, very good. Up north, got more resources being collected on up. Red's Pegasus is right there, not scouting about. So it's probably a good idea of the Pegasus to sort of shadow the army, so he can just keep an eye onto it. Does fall back to Healing Spring, very nice. Even in the winter, you still need to drink plenty of water. We do now finally have the heavy archer research. I'll get some range damage to go along with them. And the raiding cavalry is still regular raiding cavalry, not even medium raiding cavalry just yet. Throwing away Toxdays like that's not a good idea. We got a decent number of hoplites now deployed on in. So I still believe Huskarls would be a good idea in this situation. Huskarls are decent versus infantry. Also the capability of fighting against archers. For deal bonus damage. They also have really high range armor. Loki is now queued up Hell, which will give access to Nidhogg, Fire Giant, Frost Giant, and Mountain Giant. I don't think she provides access to the Stone Giant. I mean, they could buff or give her access to Stone Giant to go along with it, since she provides all the other giants. Now got the fortified towns that are being queued up by red or blue as well. Zeus has a decent amount of food, wood, and some gold. Could eye for his own age up. Most time we see Hera for Zeus, though. What's his name? The one who provides Colossus, the one that's around drink. What was his name again? Getting some free hits there, blue or red. I don't see. There's Odysseus in the back line. A lot of myth units here. There's one problem with the Greeks. They have trouble deploying enough heroes to deal with all the myth units. It looks like Hercules and Jason managed to charge the way forward. We do not have Olympian heroes researched just yet, or Olympian blood, to improve their health points and speed, was it? Zeus is also has a good boss 4 heroes. So surprised I haven't seen it just yet. A fortress now, but I'm gonna get his age up going. Good number of Huskarls. Right now they're just medium, not even heavy. Right now he's have trouble with max population, that's why he's not building more villagers. And there's the fire giant. Once he realizes that his opponent has gone for hell, he needs to make sure all of his heroes are ready to engage in Nidhogg. Because they can do a very good job at that. One of them can 1v1 a Nidhogg. Nidhogg has been summoned. Needs to get those heroes engaged in Nidhogg immediately, but they're going straight for the other myth units. All the Toxates are now on fire. Odysseus needs to at least start hitting the Nidhogg. He's going for his own. He's aging up now. Bronze, a little bit too late for bronze, and red backs the game as well. The Nidhogg destroyed his army before he can properly take it out. There's Angry saying, "Thank you for watching," and on to the next replay. As mentioned beforehand, that shall be my last replay for tonight. So everyone, thank you for watching. Have a good evening.